Okay, so this is a thought that just crossed my mind for a little bit of training. I was just driving past a house here in Penrith Street that's in the market. That I saw the price on the internet. It's been in the market for a while, and I drove past and I looked at it and I said, "But this house is not a 2 million and some change house." And then it made me think. So I'm going to share this with you. You see, the first thing that you have to establish when you're going to list a house is you have to establish is why are people selling. So if people are selling because it relates back to finances, or it relates back to needs, then a person has to make an evaluation, and you have to say, well, how do I best help this person? So if people are unrealistic with their price, the best way to serve them is to take an offer of a realistic price. So you need to be able to value a property. When you go in, you need to say, well, this property is worth 1.8 or 1.6 or whatever you think it's worth, and you need to actually present it at 1.8 or 1.6. So you need to say to people, I think this house is worth 1.8. I'd love to show you this house at 1.8. And the trick is now, obviously the people that phone you on the advert are not going to buy it because they're shopping in a different price range, unless they're expecting to buy a place for 1.8. But you need to find a buyer that says to you, listen, I can only afford 1.8. And then you must say to them, look, I've got a house that's in the market. The seller might look at a 1.8 offer, and if you can then show them the house for making a 1.8 offer, but at the same time bearing in mind that the house is in the market for 2.1 or whatever it is, you're not doing the seller a disservice. You're actually helping them, because that house is not going to sell for 2.1. Maybe it's only worth 1.6. So whatever you think it's worth, that's the offer that you need to bring in. So you might be unsuccessful. It might not. They might not accept a 1.6 offer. But if you are working on an open mandate, I think that's the best way to test the seller, is to give them a realistic offer. And if they're not going to accept it, well, then you leave it. I'll tell you, I think it's the third house I ever sold. Maybe not. But I had a house in the market for 400,000. It was a long time ago. It's a house in the market for 400,000. I got an offer in for 300,000, and the seller said no. And that was about, I don't know if it was 2 weeks or a month later. The seller couldn't sell his house, and he said to me, listen, I'll accept 300. I'll accept 300,000, but I want 300 in my pocket. And I went back to the buyer and I said, listen, do you still want that house? I can organize it for 315, and I sold it for 315. So it's the same thing now. If you just converted that into say 1.6 to 1.2, or whatever that ratio, that's how big the difference is. 400,000, or it doesn't matter what you times it by. It could be 2 million and 1.5. So those things happen. I'm just sharing this with you, hoping that in your efforts to serve people, that you also realize how to serve people. You don't always serve people by only listening to them. They might have a need, and you need to not rob them. I mean, obviously, if you think the house is worth 400,000, don't then try to sell it for 300, because then you're doing a disservice. Any feedback? You like that? Is it going to help you?